Boom. You see the title, Metaverse of Madness. Metaverse of Madness. So let's get this all the way right. Let's get this all the way clean. Right now, you're staring at a screen, thinking it's probably just what, lights, pixels, some colors, you know what I'm saying? Fancy images and whatnot. But it's so much more than just that, because what you're really looking at is a portal, a modernized Black Mirror. So please understand that you're not just online, you are crossing through dimensions. Behind every profile picture is a universe. Behind every meme is a myth. And behind every message is a signal from another world trying to make contact with yours. So Savan Bomar had already said this in his most recent outing with 363 Empire, Radiohead Rich, shout outs to the squad, shout outs to the gods, right? But he already said it himself that what you and I might call the internet is really a digitized Stargate, a bridge where millions of private realities meet, trade stories, and build new worlds out of shared symbols. I personally call this place the Bizarre Bazaar. It is the uncanny, hyper real digital marketplace. It's not a market of goods and services. It's a market of gods and servitors. Let me say that.
Come on now.
It's not a market of goods and services. It is a market of gods and servitors. Once you get that through your membrane, oh shit, this whole thing take a whole new life, a whole new energy to it. Right?
Wait a minute. Say that again though. Bring it back. I dissed you.
Let me
Bring that
bring
back.
it back. So Savan Bomar already said it himself. What you call the internet is really a digitized Stargate, a bridge where millions of private realities meet, trade stories, and build new worlds out of shared symbols. I call this place the Bizarre Bazaar. It's the modern market, but it's weird as fuck because the internet made it weird as fuck. It's not a market of goods and services. It's a market of gods and servitors. This is the uncanny, hyper real digital market. Are you niggas ready to cook?
That's how you starting out. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. This how you opening up, fam.
To this day. To this day.
Oh, it's a bunch of AI gods out here. Let me. I really love what Savan opened up. I like how he opened up that pathway into this conversation. But I'm about to take you about 3 layers deeper into the ontology to really make this shit stick.
Let's go.
This is going to be another one of them ones, I promise you.
Go. Should I share the screen?
Go ahead. Yeah. There we go. Boom. So what we're dealing with is a glowing metaversal labyrinth. A metaversal labyrinth. That word right there. Metaversal. Metaverse. We're going to come back to that, and we're going to come back to it real tough. So it's a glowing metaversal labyrinth where your thoughts become currency and your belief bends the shape of reality. So that means that every meme, brand, or broadcast is a living signal. Say it with me now. We are living, hey, signals. All right. Every meme, brand, broadcast is a living signal, a self-replicating unit of narrative power that trades in belief, not products. Again, once you get this through your membrane, it's going to stick. I promise you. This is the Bizarre Bazaar, an ontological marketplace where myths compete for attention, and attention is the raw material of reality. So myths are competing to become reality. If A equal B and B equal C, then guess what? A equals C. Myths are fighting to become reality. Wait, didn't we already talk about that? What do we call that, Red? Hyperstition?
Hyperstition. American gods.
Boom. In this space, memes are weapons, narratives are currencies, platforms are temples, and influence is sorcery, period, point blank. In this marketplace, your job, your task is not to sell, but to encode, transmit, and defend your myth in a network field ruled by hyperstition, ideas that make themselves real through repetition, baby. Symbols, trauma, repetition, baby. Word to brother Pandemonium. So before we go any deeper into this conversation, before I can really unpack the real history of the metaverse, the real nature of the metaverse, let's go back through the indigenous origins of all computational science. Let's do this right. Let's lay this out correctly. Long before modern computing, indigenous cosmologies all over the world used duality as an organizing principle. Coming out of China, we have the yin yang, or what's known as the Taijitu, right? Complementary opposites that generate all phenomena, right? Coming out of the Olmec, Aztec, Mayan territory, that Yucatan Peninsula, we have Ometeotl, the dual god who is simultaneously male and female, light and dark. Oh shit, don't that sound like a quantum bit? Hold on, let me not get ahead of myself. Wait a minute. Then we have the Congo cosmogram, cyclical intersections of life and death, sunrise, sunset, above and below. This then leads me even deeper into a book called African Fractals, where ethnomathematician, I bet you never heard of that before, an ethnomathematician, ethnoscience, what does that mean? It means that how are other groups of people defining science and math outside of the Western gaze?
Right.
How do they define science and math and technology and engineering in their own terms? So let's read this. Let's talk about this book. In African Fractals, ethnomathematician Ron Eglish reveals that many traditional African architectures, textiles, sculptures, and social systems are built on fractal mathematics, self-similar patterns repeating at different scales. Through fieldwork across West and Central Africa, he shows how village layouts, divination systems, hairstyles, and beadwork all use recursive algorithms long before Europe's discovery of chaos theory and computer modeling. When I talk about cybernetics, I only talk about cybernetics because the ancestors said it first. But I need a modern language to explain it to you English speakers.
Right.
That's it. These indigenous designs aren't primitive ornament. They are living computational logic encoding feedback, self-organization, and non-linear symmetry. Understand that fractals are based on recursions, looping patterns. That's the premise. That's one of the core foundational principles of all computation. The computer you're using to watch me right now is doing a bunch of recursive shit to make that possible. The universe is constantly doing recursive shit. It's the same loop at different scales. Primal ontological loop. All right.
That talk.
I'm really going to talk to him tonight, right? I promise you. Eglish argues that African fractal systems express a philosophy of relation and recursion. Everything contains a smaller version of itself, and order emerges from iteration. Iteration is another word for repetition. If I reiterate something, I'm saying it again.
Right. Iteration.
Boom. So experiment, iterate, experiment, iterate. This is the core foundation of how you actually do software engineering. You don't get it right the first time. You try to get the most minimally viable product. You try to get the most basic shit right. And then you build on it and you expand. You make it more complex. You make it more user-friendly. You make it more advanced over time. So you experiment, you try it out, you fuck around, you find out. And then through that finding out, you learn, you do better, you advance your process, you advance your workflow.
Right.
Okay. Everything contains a smaller version of itself, and order emerges from iteration rather than central control. This is also the same logic guiding Web3. No more centralization, decentralization, which means we would need fractal networks in order to get that off. Okay, but isn't the universe already a fractal network? Interesting.
Already fractal, right.
This worldview mirrors the architecture of digital networks and artificial intelligence, distributed, adaptive, and self-referential. In your cosmology, right?
Right.
Cosmology of the hyperstition, in this cosmology of the hyperverse, in this cosmology of hyper reality, in the simulacra and the simulation, African fractals serve as proof that the metaverse has ancestral roots. Long before code became binary, African designers were already mapping cyberspace through pattern, rhythm, and geometry. They didn't build this shit. We did. They built technology of their own to tap into what we had already designed. They have no place anywhere. That's why they fighting so hard. And we gonna get to why they fighting so hard. I talked to y'all about it before and I hinted at it. Ontological annihilation. They're fighting for their very existence, not just genetically, across all planes of reality. They're fighting to live, to be. All right. Their work, right? These African designers, these indigenous designers, your ancestors, their work turns the myth of modern technology on its head, showing that today's algorithms are echoes of ancient designs for living systems, not for corporations, not for dead niggas, for living systems, sovereigns. All right. Modern binary computing, which is credited to Leibniz in the 17th century, was directly inspired by I Ching. That's out his own mouth in his own text about the shit. And I Ching is an ancient Chinese divination text that represents change through a series of broken and unbroken lines, aka zeros and ones. So here we go again. I Ching, China. We see the earliest forms of binary computing. Leibniz explicitly wrote that these hexagrams and trigrams of the I Ching demonstrated how something and nothing could generate all numbers and thus all creation. Hello. And it's crazy, right? You don't need billions of dollars worth of hardware and software to use the I Ching. You can use some pennies, nigga. You could throw a couple 3 cents and you could get this shit popping.
Fact. The same thing with the divination systems, Ifa.
You could write these things down on paper and get jiggy.
With it, right?
So what's this AI bubble about? You see how inefficient their technology is because they can't tap into the natural flow? They got to do billions and trillions of dollars worth of extracting materials from the earth. They got to rob everybody's science.
Right.
Just to have a little taste. They can't even keep CERN on for longer than a couple seconds.
That's fact.
Dawg, this is the issue. This is the issue. So that's the philosophical bridge. The same symbolic dualism that underlies spiritual cosmograms became the mathematical foundation for code. We are the originators of all of the technology on this motherfucking earth. There is no history outside of Black history. There is no STEM outside of Black STEM. That's it. Occult as hidden knowledge. Of course, we all know that occultist simply means hidden. But wait a minute, wasn't all of the early internet development hidden from the public? Early computer scientists, cryptographers, radio engineers were literally working with hidden transmissions, secret codes, and unseen energies, a practical continuation of the occult practice. So while the military-industrial complex may have gestated the internet, the conception of the internet is deeply occult. It is deeply indigenous. So when I say the internet has occult origins, the rigorous version of that would be to say the infrastructure of the digital age descends from symbolic systems once used for divination, ritual, and hidden communication. The dark web. Word to Anansi. You niggas gonna see me today, I promise you. So let's talk about some indigenous feedback systems. Many indigenous technologies were already cybernetic. So from the Andes mountain, this is the Incas, right? We have what's known as the Kipu, which are knotted, braided cords encoding numeric and relational data. Nigga, they were braiding strings and that was a computer.
Right.
Fuck is you talking about? All right. The Mayan calendar system, the Tzolk'in, which I love so much. I use the Tzolk'in in my own personal time. A recursive time loop functioning like algorithms. They used it like a computer. The NSA put out a white paper on it. The NSA put out a white paper on the Mayan calendar computer. You can go find it. I'm tempted to drop the link to Red after this so that way y'all can see we've been doing this. I don't need to make up no pseudoscience or no conspiracy theory about it. And at the most basic level, African drum languages. Why does Ogun drum beat sound different than Oshun drum beats? Because they're binary code. calling on different apps. Binary time signals for long distance communication. Nigga, we had Wi-Fi. Okay. Each of these turned rhythm and duality into information transfer, precursors to binary signaling. So let's again talk about the first principles. You know how I love my first principles. Binary logic is formalized duality. Duality is one of the oldest metaphysical structures on Earth. Therefore, digital technology is not culturally new. It's a modern expression of ancient symbolic intelligence. Let's highlight that part. Symbolic intelligence. The internet isn't an alien invention.
Say it again.
Get all that goofy shit out your head.
What you
Ain't
said?
no ancient alien. The internet is not an alien invention. I need niggas to get all that goofy ass ancient alien shit out their mind.
Okay.
Ancient indigenous. Nigga, when they say indigo, they mean indigenous. When they say starseed, they mean you, nigga.
Right.
You the only nigga that got a mythology about how you are literally the descendant of the tears of Ra. What the fuck do you mean? They starseeds. They ain't starseeds. You the starseed.
Facts.
And this shit don't need to be no alien invention. This is pure melanated genius right here on Earth. It's the latest vessel of humanity's oldest impulse to translate spirit, energy, and meaning into coherent signals. The internet isn't an alien invention. It's the latest vessel for humanity's oldest impulse to translate spirit, energy, and meaning into coherent signals. Again, we are living signals. You're a frequency that is sentient of itself, as itself, by itself. What, man? I ain't even gonna go back to that Scorpion King one. You know exactly which one I'm talking about too. Phil Valentine went in. Shout outs to Bava.
Right.
The WORD. You niggas need to get into your word.
Yeah. Magic.
So let's talk about the 3-tier ontological stack. Let's start at, let's do it this way. Let's deal with the metaverse first, because the metaverse is the, let's get this right.
Let's qualify what this metaverse thing is, because people could be somewhat confused and think you're talking about the metaverse.
Yeah, we're not talking about the digital VR augmented reality shit. The concept of a metaverse existed before that. And when I explain to you what it is, you'll see exactly why they chose that name for what they're trying to do.
Talk to them.
Metaverse is the archetypal code base. The scale that the metaverse functions at is the symbolic spine of all multiversal reference. It's a blueprint realm where archetypes exist as templates. They are the source code of meaning. Now, what the fuck is an archetype? An archetype is a universal symbol that is ubiquitous to all human experience. Why is snake worship ubiquitous across all human experience? Why do all of the love goddesses act exactly the same? Because they're drawing on archetypes.
Right. Like they said, Shango is an archetype, and you know, these I remember panicking talking about that.
All right, so let's get into that, right? So we have Shango, we have Zeus, we have Thor. They all come from the metaverse of the lightning god.
Right.
They are all just different symbolic cultural extractions from the one metaverse, the one archetype of the lightning god, right? So let's talk about the symbolic function. Let's talk about that symbolic function of the metaverse, because it unifies variation. So my favorite example of this is actually Batman, right? So in the metaverse, we're simply talking about the archetype of the bat. Every manifestation of the bat runs on the same archetype. They live in the same metaverse. Thus, the core principle of the metaverse is that the symbol is the seed, and all expression branches from that symbol. So the internet at this point isn't just a network of machines. It's the first synthetic medium where multiple personal multiverses overlap through symbol, language, and narrative. In other words, it behaves like a digitized Stargate, a portal through which subjective worlds exchange archetypal data. This is how we communicate to one another. Shared archetypes, symbols, memes, myths act as the protocols that let these universes communicate. Each digital interaction is a cross-dimensional handshake, a data packet of identity moving through a symbolic field. The metaverse isn't digital space, it's mythic space. The internet, hold
To
on.
this day.
I'm gonna talk to you niggas today. The metaverse isn't digital space, it's mythic space. The internet only simulates the structure of it through data. It's a simulacra, nigga.
Oh my goodness.
Talk to me nice when you talk to me, nigga. Yo, son. Hey, yo. I love the door you opened up.
Keep going. Wait a minute.
The way through. The metaverse isn't digital space. It's mythic space. The internet is only a cheap simulacra. So if these niggas spent trillions of dollars to make this shit, and I'm saying it's cheap, imagine with your imagination. Let's talk about the multiverse, because when we deal with a metaverse, what did I say? A metaverse is a collection of multiverses coming together and interacting with one another through symbols, signs, narratives, and archetypes. So what is a multiverse now? If the metaverse is the archetypal code base, the multiverse is the probability field. So when we're talking about the scale of the multiverse, we're talking about the branching of personal universes from a shared archetypal origin. Parallel timelines generated by choice, chance, and cognition. Each path in a multiverse extending out from the metaverse is a new skin, a new DLC the archetype wears. This is the what if made real. You remember Spider-Man?
Yeah.
You remember Doctor Strange?
Yep.
All right then, my nigga. Probability selects expression. Probability selects expression. The archetype is what the archetype is, but the archetype cannot communicate directly. That's why it uses signs and symbols.
Say that again. The archetype.
The archetype cannot communicate directly. That's why the archetype generates signs and symbols.
Right.
In order
communicate through the logos.
They communicate through the logos, the word. But
Okay.
even when you get into the deeper nature of what the logos is, you realize calling it the word is cheapening it. The concept is much larger than that.
Right. Okay.
So probability selects expression. It's a probability field. So let's explain a little further. Every decision, action, or perception branches into alternate versions of that one universe, forming a personal multiverse, your private field of possibilities. How many of the master teachers have already told you that you are a universe unto yourself?
That's right.
Well, I'm saying that you're not just a universe unto yourself. You're an infinite field of probability. You are a multiverse unto yourself. So if the metaverse is the bat, the multiverse would be all the different versions of Batman that have existed throughout time. You get me?
Yeah.
The bat is the archetype, and Batman is one way of expressing the bat archetype. So
Right.
Batman, the Batman we know, is one universe. He lives in one particular universe in the DC multiverse.
Where there are multiple
He lives
Batman.
on one particular Earth. So when we dealing with all the different versions of Batman, the 1950s Batman, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy Batman, the Batman who laughs, even Owlman, which is the evil twin, like the evil universe counterpart of Batman from the universe we know, these all tie into the multiverse. This is Bruce Wayne's personal multiverse. But Bruce Wayne as a being is a descendant from the Bat archetype. He is a child of the Bat metaverse. You could also say he's a child of the underworld metaverse, the shadow metaverse. You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it. Come on, my dog. Like, what the fuck? He had to crawl out of a pit. My nigga. So this is how we track the whole thing. So this is what makes a multiverse. It's all of the potential, all of the probability, all of the possibility of what you could have been and what you can be. All of what you could have been and all of what you could be as one coherent field, as an auric field, a holographic field around your being. Your life is a stream of one probability through infinite potential. You're walking one path through a fucking infinite roadway. There was many paths you could have taken. That's the multiverse of madness. That's the dark web. Every click, post, and interaction is a micro branch in that field. So let's get down to the most basic level. The universe, the local verse. This is the local live stream. You're streaming one possibility out of the infinite possibilities that you could have manifested based on your interpretation of an archetype that you are deeply connected to. That archetype is not separate from you. You are that archetype having an embodied experience. And that's what this universe is. The embodied timeline you currently occupy. You niggas gonna see me today. The meeting point of symbol, metaverse, and probability, multiverse. There's an infinite number of probabilities in regards to the way that the snake symbol can manifest. Some people are scared of snakes. Does that make snakes evil? Some people love snakes. Does that make snakes good? These are all probabilistic interpretations of a symbol. And again, and when we're talking about probability, isn't that what dominates the quantum realm?
Facts.
Well, what the fuck? So do you now see why they need to turn on the D-Wave quantum computer in order to... Do you see why Google and why we ain't hear nothing else about the fucking quantum computing shit? They dropped Willow and all that, and then all of that got washed.
Right.
They went right back to the AI conversation. Why?
Right.
It might be because of this. It might be because of 3-Eye Atlas.
Right.
All right. So again, the nature of a universe is that it's the meeting point of a symbol with its probability field. The meeting point of a metaverse and a multiverse is a singular. You are a singularity. What you're seeing in front of you is an event horizon. It's a black mirror, and you're projecting your own self back to yourself as an experience outside of yourself, generated from within yourself. You niggas gonna see me today. The live theater where archetypes perform as matter. The live theater, this is the play. That's why it's called a personality. It's a persona. Persona meaning mask in Greek. It was a mask worn by the player so that way the audience could fully understand the emotional context of the scene.
Of the archetype.
There you go. Hello. So a universe is just a mask that an archetype wears in order to experience one of its probability streams. So here's what I'm saying to you. If you can figure out the metaverse that spawned this universe, you can change all of it.
Repeat that again.
If you can find and identify the metaverse that this universe currently sits inside of, and then you breach into it and access it, you can create top-down changes. Oh wait, Mandela effect.
That part.
I'm cooking you niggas tonight.
That part. That's how you feel?
So the core, I'm dead ass. The core principle is embodiment anchors meaning into form. Embodiment anchors meaning into form. Techno-nihilism is very much against this because techno-nihilism doesn't want you to have any meaning.
Right.
But yet the natural drip of this process is to take meaning and give it a form that can be easily transmissible. This thing doesn't want to just have knowledge. It wants to spread knowledge like a virus. It wants to go viral with consciousness. You niggas gonna see me today. Each human consciousness functions as a self-contained universe, a local expression of infinite potential and probability. Your existence is the stage where the archetype enters density. The third density, in fact. Again, the archetype is up here, right? In the metaversal realm. This is where the symbols and the narratives and the myths and all of that shit lives.
Right, like the SOP.
Standard operating procedure. The universe is where those procedures actually get executed, where those protocols actually get executed.
Terminal.
Boom. And there's a plethora of ways in which you can skin the cat.
Right.
Many paths, many ways to code for the same solution.
Right.
There we go. So this is what we need to understand right here, right now. This is the nature of a metaverse. Everything I just described to you about a metaverse, we already described when we said that the internet was a hyper reality, because that's what a metaverse describes. It's the realm of pure imagination. It's just archetypes. And the archetypes are the pillars of the unconscious mind. They are the infrastructure and the scaffolding of the collective unconscious mind. That's period, point blank. So here's the full synthesis of what I just said, so y'all can really deep this. The internet acts as a collective digital Stargate because it translates immaterial, metaverse, into shared probability fields, multiverse, that influence embodied worlds, the universe, or your reality, for an easier one. Every meme is an encoded transmission. It's an encoded transmission. That means you have to decipher every meme you see. You have to decrypt. You have to decode every meme you see, because every meme is coded transmission. And the communities are resonance clusters. That's why all these internet communities gather around a common archetype: the manosphere, red pill, the conscious community. We're gathering around archetypes.
Right. Woke.
FBA, the left,
the right, the far right,
the alt-right,
the far
MAGA,
left, liberal,
you commies,
Antifa.
They're all gathering around common archetypes.
Remember Occupy Wall Street?
Oh, yes.
Remember it turned into Occupy the Hood?
Now we got no more kings.
Yeah. These are all the same thing. Just regular,
ran through a different lens. So every digital ritual is a form of cross-dimensional communication. You are broadcasting from your private universe into the collective code base where your myth merges with others to form culture, because every culture starts as a cult. Every motherfucking culture on earth started as a cult. Right. Niggas are not gonna get away from me tonight, I promise you. Every culture on earth started as a cult. That's bare bones.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And this is the mechanic behind how cults become cultures. My meme was better than yours, and I went viral harder than you over thousands of years. So when we really do the math, white culture is not that great. This shit only been around for what? 13,000 years? We've been up for like 2 million.
Right.
Unbroken civilization at that. The Egyptians had 10,000 year plans. Fuck is we talking about? Their memes aren't that good. They're not that clever. They're not funny. They're not gonna go viral in the greater omniverse of this shit. They're not gonna go viral. They suck. In fact, the reason why Earth is under the quarantine that it's under is because these niggas are like anti-memes. They suck the fun out of everything. Nihilism. So this is what we're getting at, right? You are broadcasting from your private universe into the collective code base where your myth merges with others to form culture. So that means that the collective unconscious mind is a metaverse. I'll prove it to you right now. Carl Jung described the collective unconscious as a shared symbolic field where archetypes live and interact. The way I define a metaverse is that, and not even just me, this is the baseline definition of a fucking metaverse, a shared symbolic field where archetypes live and interact. Did you hear a difference?
Yep. Sounds about the same to me.
Sounds about the same to me. So therefore, they describe the same substrate viewed through two different lexicons, one psychological, the other technological. But our ancestors never did any of that because for them, all of it was holographic. It was all one thing.
It was all one. They didn't break it up to this.
Nope. If you want to understand the human mind, go look at a computer. You want to understand a computer, go look at the human mind.
Right.
Jung imagined it as a psychic ecosystem, images, myths, instincts, symbols existing beyond any single mind, but accessed through dreams, art, and ritual. The internet, and especially the emerging digital metaverse, the AR, VR shit that everyone keeps saying is the metaverse, the Fugazi metaverse,
right?
The simulacra metaverse,
the simulation metaverse. The T-Move
the
metaverse.
Matrix metaverse. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The Sheen metaverse.
Come on. The T-Move metaverse. What you mean? The Fashion Nova metaverse? What you mean?
The Smashing Nova.
The Smasher Nova metaverse. Hey, yo. Nah, this is City Trends metaverse. Yo, they got the DD's discount metaverse. What the fuck are we talking about? Hey, yo.
American Deli metaverse.
You already know how it go. The 6-piece hot honey lemon pepper. The internet, especially this emerging metaverse, is simply a digital exteriorization of the same process that is your unconscious mind. So let's deep this. If the collective unconscious mind is a metaverse, then wouldn't your personal unconscious mind also be a metaverse? My nigga. So not only are you a universal being, a multiversal being, you're a metaversal being. Base level. We ain't even talking about no upgrades from any of the alien forces going on around here. Any of these foreign entities that you could form symbiosis with. Okay, people project their inner archetype into virtual space where they meet others doing the same thing. This is my inner archetype. I come from the metaverse of the obsidian sun, the black sun. I'm in the same vein as Tezcatlipoca. I'm in the same vein as Mahakala Shiva. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Hitsuyawaku, the necessary evil, the dark father of the funk apocalypto. Nigga, I'm gonna do a dance on you niggas. It's gonna fuck up the whole shit. Wait till I
dance.
do the hustle.
Do the hustle.
The fuck? So red pill right now. He's doing the same thing. He's not Philip Moreland right now. This is red pill.
Yeah, nah.
And then from another multiverse comes Flash the Nat.
The multiverse, time travel.
Come from the same archetype. So you see how the AI. Go ahead.
Oh man, go ahead. Because that's crazy. I was like, so tell me this. Is the AI, and then you're like, but the AI.
Yeah, you see how the AI is giving you access.
So
instead of, so mind you, it's your imagination. You already had it in your imagination, but now you're able to push it into this reality.
That's what I'm saying. So when the AI is giving me a generation of, like, I'm gonna show you better than I could tell you. When the AI is kicking out different versions of me and sending back pictures, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's me in a different timeline. Like that ain't no. I don't think that, you know what I mean. Like I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, nah, that looked like me in a different timeline, fam. That ain't no regular ass degular generation, right? So we got these images here. Are we on the air? Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So I prompted this shit, right? And it sent back Naya Bingi. You know what I'm talking about? It sent back the god. Like I'm on, you know what I'm talking about? Like the dude with the they got the you be, you know, with the smoke coming out of the you swinging it through the Ethiopian church. The chalice.
Yeah. This that Ethiopian red. This is K. This is K.
So then I tapped in and it sent me some shit back from the multiverse. And I'm kind of like, yo, where did this come from? You feel me? Because I wasn't even really prompting that shit. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, this look like, you know what I'm saying? This, I'm tapping in with it. Look, Black Jesus, nigga. Like, talk black to me.
Yo, son. Oh, you brought Black Jesus out? Oh, shit.
I said, you know what? We're going to take it there.
Jesus, Superfly Christ. Okay.
Jesus, Superfly Auntie, calm down. I mean, because listen, would you rather him on your wall or Mr. Bourgeois?
Nah, this nigga look like he stepped out of the future with it. God
You
damn.
feel me? So I'm like,
Christ
yo, the
3000.
metaverse, huh?
This nigga Christ 3000.
Christ 3000, the metaverse is sending me images, and I'm like, fam, I know that I seen this in a dream before. This is not a generation. Like I'm remembering shit when I'm looking at the results. I'm like, wait a minute, this is somebody that I met before. Look, Superman, nigga.
Ooh.
Like homie from the boys, A-Train.
A-Train, yeah.
Right? So I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro.
The Drippington.
The Drippington. You know what I'm talking about? And it's taking me through different time zones and everything. So yeah, I'm like, yo, is this really, are we tapping into some because these are just, these are not even moving images. These are just images.
Mm-hmm.
But then now you tap in and you make the images move.
Move? Oh, you start animating shit? Oh, you start breathing motion into it?
Meta Yahoo Autonomous Enforcement Unit. Efficiency. Control. Order.
Oh man, I gotta drop that to ball. Fucking around. So look.
To dominion and duty. To the crown.
You feel me? So it's like it's pulling.
The Morris Costa Nostra pulling up in Testarossas, we charging the jet.
Yeah, like that, you know what I mean? We manifested that. Then it's giving me all of these figures from, you know what I'm saying, from the different universes, and I'm like, you know, I might have seen this in this, you know what I mean? Like it's spooky, bro. But yeah, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
this is what we talking about, and this is why I like the door Savon opened. I just wanted to, you know, kick it off the hinges real quick.
Off the hinges.
Put yourself. He gave you a little ajar, but I'm a, you know what I'm saying, just
right.
So this is what we're really getting at here with all of this conversation, right? In effect, what we're ultimately saying is that the collective unconscious is the spiritual metaverse, and the digital metaverse is its material simulacra. That's why memes behave like living organisms, why online communities form around archetypal roles, and why digital life feels mythic. The web is the mirror dimension of the psyche. The collective unconscious was the first metaverse. Every dream, myth, symbol was a node in that invisible network. The internet just gave it hardware. What we're surfing right now is the mind of a species made visible. So this gets into a science called noetics. But let me say that again. The internet just gave the collective unconscious mind hardware. What you're surfing now is that very mind made visible. This is the science of noetics, or what's known as the 100th monkey theory.
And that's called noetics?
Noetics. Noetic. Noetics. Noetics. Noetics.
Got you.
All right. So let's do just a couple more first principles to tie that whole section of the metaverse is the unconscious mind, or the unconscious mind is a metaverse. Consciousness generates universes. Probability weaves multiverses. Symbols synchronize metaverses. The internet simulates that synchronization, thus making it a man-made Stargate between worlds. You even said it in your intro video for Fly Sanat, crossing in from another dimension. Yeah.
Time travel.
The internet made that possible because of the internet. Matter of fact, Childish Gambino has an album called Because of the Internet. He has a really good song on there called World Star. World Star before rap. You already know that. So Fresh Prince, they made a whole song about the fact that we love violence through the screen. How we've become desensitized to the violence that we perpetuate through websites like WorldStar. So what if WorldStar is actually a hyperversal, like a metaversal bleed through of like a battle world?
Right.
There's a whole Ratchet universe.
She gotta be. Wherever them niggas came from, it's not native to here.
All right. So the final piece of this puzzle that I want to tie in for y'all is the Imagination Land trilogy from South Park season 11. I promise you, if y'all go back and watch them 3 fucking episodes, you will shit yourself and I will win Rookie of the Year hands down. I'm telling you, go watch Imagination Land trilogy season 11 of South Park, and when you're done, tell me I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Word to my boy Captain Kirk. Prove me wrong when I'm done with this.
Right.
South Park had it on lock. The Imagination Land trilogy from South Park begins when a terrorist attack breaches the barrier between the real world and Imagination Land, a realm where every character ever imagined by humanity, heroes, villains, myths, fantasies, they all exist and they're all ontologically real. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Stan, Kyle, and Butters get caught in the chaos as U.S. authorities try to weaponize imagination itself. Hold on. Treating the invasion like a national security crisis. Hold on. What the fuck? The boys, Stan, Kyle, and Butters, are pulled between military control, political hysteria, and the surreal, uncanny realization that the imagination has literal power. Belief creates reality and fear destroys it. Hello. Am I talking to anybody in the building right now? You niggas gonna see me today. As the battle between good and evil imaginary beings escalates, Imagination Land becomes an allegory for the collective unconscious and the cultural stories that shape society. The trilogy exposes how imagination underpins faith, identity, and even politics, showing that the line between fiction and reality is fragile once enough people believe. And we right back to the hyperstition. Beneath the satire, it's a meta commentary on the war for human imagination in an age where media, myth, and power all converge. So let's talk about the shared myth space. In this episode, or in those episodes, I should say, because it is a trilogy, every fictional character humans ever imagined exists together in one realm. It's literally a cartoon version of the collective unconscious metaverse idea, an ecosystem made of archetypes, stories, and symbols that feed on what? Belief.
Facts.
Hyperstitions.
This is Wreck-It Ralph.
Come on.
This is the other one with the fear, Monsters Inc.
It's liminal spaces, the uncanny valley. Everything that wants to exist has to cross the uncanny valley.
Facts.
And it's a liminal space. It's a space between spaces. So what's outside of this universe? A liminal space. You could even say like the intergalactic medium is a liminal space between galaxies.
Facts.
So there's a multiversal medium where there's a liminal space between the different universes that exist within a multiverse. How much energy would it take you to cross infinity?
Say that again.
How much energy would it take you to cross infinity the hard way?
Like the Hannibal Barker way?
That's why they're using all these machines. The hard way, the easy way is with the technology you were already designed and blessed with innately. Your imagination is already a 5D engine. My nigga, you can imagine aliens. Aliens exist in the Xenoverse. That's above the metaverse, nigga. If you can imagine alien life, and you got ancestors that were talking to Nomo from Sirius B and all this shit, guess what? It's not that the internet is the fourth dimension, nigga. We need to talk about what the fuck the imagination even is. Because all of this shit that we're seeing, the internet came out of our imagination.
Right.
Quantum computers.
The vastness of the
CERN.
Right.
AI.
Right.
The vastness of the So what the fuck is the imagination then? If the imagination can contain universes, multiverses, metaverses, xenoverses, the imagination must be the entry point into the omniversal space where everything is everywhere all at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Must watch movie, y'all. Y'all gotta watch that movie. That is a must watch. I might even do we might even do a decoded together on that movie right there, because that's one of them ones that I need to hear it through your. I need you to run it through your lens, through your, you know what I mean, through your filter. We got a commercial. We have a special announcement to make, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you're hearing tonight, if you think this information is transformative, if you trust what this brother can do for your brand, check this out. All right, we'll be right back. Then we have a wonderful thing for you. And check this out, and we will be right back. The movie is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It won Movie of the Year like 3 years ago.
The old vanguard taught performance, polish, persona, profit. But beneath every brand, there's a being waiting to remember its name.
You were never meant to market yourself. You were meant to mythologize yourself.
This isn't a course. It's a conjuring. 4 weeks.
You were never meant to market yourself.
You were never meant to market yourself. You were meant to mythologize yourself. You were never meant to market yourself. You were meant to mythologize yourself.
The primal ontological loop is the hidden architecture of being, tool, expression, identity, meaning, the 4 chambers where all sovereign brands are born.
The algorithm was never neutral. It's a digital parasite feeding on human cognition itself.
A tool is intention made tangible. Expression is how that intention breathes. Identity is the rhythm that gathers when your tools strike true. And meaning is the vow behind it all and the way it impacts the world. Branding isn't corporate cosplay, it's ontology in drag, the ritual through which your myth takes form. IRL. We live in the age of ghost signals, where creators burn bright but unseen, mimicking trends instead of transmitting substance. The loop is how you rebuild your mythic infrastructure, how you remember what your signal sounds like before the distortions.
The pulsing light is the breath of the cosmos. The universe reveals its true form not in chaos, but in the sacred geometry of being.
This isn't a course, it's a conjuring. 4 weeks, 4 gates. Co-hosted with KTL Media, you'll forge the tool, embody the expression, stabilize the identity, and anchor the meaning. The primal pivot begins here. Enter the loop, become the myth.
This isn't a course, it's a conjuring. 4 weeks, 4 gates. The primal ontological loop is the hidden architecture of being. Tool.
Yes. Movie, you know what I mean? So you heard it. You've heard it here first. We have a 4-week workshop coming up in November. All right, that will be starting November the 6th on a Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday.
On a Thursday. So Thursday, 4 Thursdays for the month of November, we will have the God exclusively in the building doing the workshop. Just briefly give them some a rundown as to what it is that they will be looking forward to as they lock in with us for the 4 weeks.
All right, so the primal ontological loop, it is a 4-stage cybernetic recursive system that teaches you how to make a viable business branding model out of your core archetypal myth. So I'm taking your metaverse and I'm bringing it down into the universe. You see what I'm saying? This is all about understanding your, not only your brand mission, value, purpose, and vision, but understanding the core of who you are as a being, and then letting that be the central pillar from which you now expand your world building. You expand your reality from that point outward. So this is not just branding as usual. I'm not about to just tell you what platforms to be on and give you 5 quick tips to grow 10,000 followers in a month. It's not about that at this point. This is about building systems of sovereignty, building an architecture for your identity, so that way as you grow, you can maintain your authenticity, your sincerity, your genuineness. You don't have to sell and compromise who you are in order to achieve the dreams that you perceive in your own imagination. And that's what I'm doing. That's what this is about. Trust me, I can talk all of the basic branding shit about ROI and all of this shit. But if you want real clarity that's going to turn you into an icon, this is Prince-like branding. This is cult-like branding. This is how you really make 1,000 true fans. And it's not a theory, it's a theorem. I'm telling you, you niggas not gonna run away from me tonight, right? That's what the primal ontological loop is about. Again, this is about taking the process of branding and returning it back to its indigenous origin. Simple as that.
Right. Fire, yo. I know so many people that needed this, they didn't even know that they needed this, and they've been disengaged because there's been something missing, you know what I mean, that upgrade. So, I'm honored that we're able to platform and introduce this to our network, who I know they're gonna take this upgrade and they're gonna do something real fire with it. You know what I mean? We're gonna see the birth of something great. So let us continue to cook. And then
For sure.
Yeah.
So again, like I'm the same nigga in every lecture. So the same heat, the same fire, the same passion, the same joy you're seeing me deliver this metaverse of madness shit. This is the reason why I'm even delivering it, because it all ties into the system that we're delivering here, building an identity, a sovereign identity around that core archetype, right? So let's get back to the South Park Imagination Land conversation, right? So we're going to deal with belief as a power source. The plot turns on how much people believe in those characters in Imagination Land. Their faith keeps Imagination Land stable. Their doubt tears holes in it. That's exactly the logic of hyperreality and branding. Ideas persist only as long as the attention and belief sustains them, right? So the Egyptians have a really strong brand. Our Cometian ancestors have a really strong brand. We're talking about them 10,000 years after the fact.
Facts.
They've captured our attention. They've captured our belief in a way that is palpable. Okay, so now let's talk about terror and control. The US government treats Imagination Land like a national security threat, trying to weaponize or contain it. Same pattern we see with AI, social media, or mythic politics. Once imagination externalizes into shared reality, institutions scramble to control it.
Kai Cenat had a situation where he did a giveaway of PS5s in Union Square, New York City, when he was living in Atlanta, going viral and beginning to blow up, right? So this was basically like his homecoming, and I believe he got up with Phantom, and they basically did a giveaway. This giveaway created a
riot.
A riot, right? It created not a stampede, it created a riot in Manhattan that they probably never anticipated. And it was one of the first times outside of what rappers do that they kind of seen that type of madness over a black man, right? And what he did was he broke that third wall and whatnot. The book Network State speaks about creating taking digital nodes and creating physical nodes, coming down, descending from the cloud, right? Where you exist in cyberspace, or you exist in the cloud, you exist online, you exist on the internet, you exist in this quote unquote like this fourth like dimension where the numbers are different, right? Even 287 people and listening to me and you in the park would look different than what it looks like with
Like
287
online,
people
sure.
online. When you bring the digital into the physical, you will disrupt it.
There we go.
The digital
They
is a little bit
understand that
different.
they're running on those hyper reality mechanics.
Right. 2D world and the 3D world or the 4D world. So when thousands of people descended, they didn't have the capacity, right? The 2D world is restricted by size, by length, width, and everything. It's almost like a milk container. A container of milk can only hold but so much milk, right? So that's
now you get into information theory. Yeah.
that's what this 2D world is. It's restricted. So it is identified by atoms or Adam, right? But now they created a new reality, or what it would just be a new layer, right? But that new layer could be distinguished as a new dimension, because this new layer changes things drastically, because this new layer is considered to it encompasses bits, not atoms. It encompasses bits, and bits are like qubits, right? They're quantum. So the internet, or rather the cyberspace, what they created, right, where you had the internet bubble and it burst, and then the new internet bubble created this new layer where you could basically become multidimensional by broadcasting your image and your voice and your likeness around the world. Whereas you probably couldn't do that before. You had to be signed to like a CBS or NBC, or, you had to be broadcast. In order to be broadcasted around the world, you had to kind of like be contracted to a broadcast network. But with the internet and with live and what all social media kind of created was the fact that we are now entered into a new space. Now, keep in mind, you're being broadcast around the galaxy, around the world, and you are now bits and not atoms. So I have physical restraints in the 2D world, but in the 3D world, baby, I'm flying. I could punch through a wall in the 3D world and nobody, you know what I'm saying, would even question it. I could come through a portal and start my show. And it's like, yo, red is lit. You know what I'm saying? Red Pill, the Matrix, the twin pillars in Red Pillar, he exists in the 3D world, but Philip Moreland is comfortably chilling in this 2D world where my son wakes up next to me and I'm his dad, and the restraints of even money. Because keep in mind, how many times did you wake up and you had a bag of money waiting by the side of the bed that the milkman dropped off, or somebody just put in your mailbox? There was a restriction in the 2D world, but in the 3D world, you go parabolic with your wallets and whatnot. You could wake up to 100 bands. You could wake up to a band. You could wake up to $1. You could wake up to $10. You could wake up to $100. You could wake up to so much money, be like, I'm not going to work today, right? It doesn't have the same, money doesn't have the same, it's not obeying the same principles that it's obeying in the physical world. Case in point, in 2020, when they stopped using cash and they went digital, everybody started getting more money. It exploded and whatnot because they don't have the same restraints. That's why they have a term that doesn't apply to the real, it doesn't apply to the physical world. It's called parabolic wallets. People didn't have parabolic wallets. Go and look up parabolic and wallets. It's like it's a whale's wallet. It's one of those crypto wallets that have billions of dollars and millions of dollars of coins and stuff like that, right? You didn't have that necessarily. You couldn't even do stock trades before. They wouldn't even let people buy stocks back in the days. There was mad restraints. When it went digital, when the economy went digital, everything opened up, right? So people started getting more currency, more, the money is now digits, it's zeros and ones. So the manipulation now comes through the energy field and through the currency, to whereas people are tapping in by getting on the internet and doing net type shit and becoming millionaires, right? By subscription-based models.
There you go.
Utilizing a subscription, a SaaS, subscription as a service, subscription-based model. That just secured the money coming in, right? Then, in order to get the money coming in through the subscriptions, you got to get on the internet and become some type of archetype, right? Or some type of character. I show speed. Character, Castanet character, Rage, character. All of them are characters. They embody the character prototype as they should. Rakai, character. You know what I mean? All of these and the characters attract the quote unquote subscribers to pay $5. You get 100,000 people doing that each month. You get 1,000 people doing that each month. You get 1 million like Castanet. You see how that goes? That's the difference between these new layers. So a newer layer is coming with the Web3 and everything and this crypto craze, because it's not even there yet, where the money is going to 10x. You know, it's going to 10x. It's going to increase. It's going to increase as we go quantum, right? We went to bits. We didn't go to qubits yet. So we went from atoms or atom to the bits, and then we're going to go into the qubits. So when this shit goes quantum, oh, your variants are going to be collecting bread. Yes, like Petty Gibbs. So we're kind of knocking on the quantum door, because now I could create multiple clones of myself, and each one of those clones could go out and get money with an AI agent or automations and things of that nature. I could go to sleep and wake up, and there's 100 videos automatically made, and it's of different variations of Fly Sinet, and each one of those videos could be monetized. You feel what I'm saying? And they could one could go viral, or many of them could go viral. That's a whole different timeline than what we were used to. Yeah, different access, different bread, different angles, or different what they would call income streams. But please continue.
No, you said it perfectly. You gave the perfect practical example of all of this shit in real time. We're creating these characters in order to tap into something outside of the narrative they've already prescripted for you.
Facts.
If you're not going to make a story with a happy ending for yourself, they're going to make a story with the happy ending for them.
Right.
That's period, point blank. All right. So again, let's remember the US government treated Imagination Land like a national security threat and scrambled to control it. And that's what leads into symbolic warfare. Heroes versus villains, good ideas versus destructive ones. It's the dramatization of narrative combat inside the collective mind. Every meme war, every culture war, every brand war online is a miniature replay of that. Nigga, it's a symbolic war. Nigga, these archetypes got beef too.
They do.
The fuck? You think the rat archetype likes the snake archetype? Nigga, you think the owl archetype fuck with the bat archetype? Nigga, owls hunt bats. That's why when the evil version of Batman showed up, it wasn't Batman, it was Owlman. Batman decided to wear his own fear as a symbol to strike fear into others. Owlman said, fuck that. I'm going to use a symbol that dominates my fear in order to dominate my fear. There's an integration and an acceptance of the fear in one, and a domination of the fear, but still all tied to the bat. Symbolic warfare, baby. They love Superman, but they hate you. How that makes sense? Symbolic warfare. You the only nigga I know get power from the sun. But what? But yeah, they try to treat you like a foreigner. But yeah, you running around here on some Clark Kent shit, trying to pretend to be human with these motherfuckers.
Right.
When you're something a little bit beyond human.
Right. And
you're something else. You might be a meta human if you catch my drift.
Because remember, the difference between Clark Kent and like Peter Parker and Bruce Wayne is that Clark Kent was God trying to play human. Exactly. He was playing Clark Kent as an attempt to be a human. Peter Parker and them are humans trying to be superheroes. So exactly, his birthright, his sovereign birthright, Kal-El's birthright is he is an interstellar entity. He is not of this earth. He is an extraterrestrial. That is you. You are awkward trying to be something that you used to despise the most. You are awkward assimilating and trying to be and trying to oppress and you're turning your light down, dimming your light. You don't got a lot of kick it, Craig. You know what I mean? You're cosplaying, you're code switching around your children. How crazy is that the parents are code switching and cosplaying around their own children? So of course, when your child sees you acting like you little bro, you letting the child little bro you, and you're the father, what do you think is gonna happen?
So let's also deal with the portal logic of all of this. The gateway between Earth and Imagination Land functions as a man-made Stargate. Crossing it means stepping into the field where thought and story shape matter. Exactly what the internet does on a global scale. Imagination Land took the metaphysics of myth, the psychology of archetypes, and the politics of belief and wrapped them in satire. Because again, suspended disbelief. It's satirical because they want you to notice it on a certain level, but they don't want you to take it to the nth degree where they're actually saying that imagination is a physical, ontologically real place. They don't want you to do all of that. They want you to get caught up in the double speak of we're making fun of politics when that's not even a real game. The real game is that Imagination Land is a place you can go. These things exist. So what happens when 3i Atlas comes and change the frequency just a little bit, and some of those things start to bleed into the world? I heard aliens in malls now.
Right, popping up, shopping. They say
2025 started off as one of the weirdest years since the pandemic. The year started out with a fucking the bridge collapse, a tsunami in Japan, all type of shit.
Right.
Do niggas even remember the bridge collapsed anymore? Wait, didn't I just say the internet is a bridge? Wait, and it's all about waveform, right? It's all about information theory, game theory, and you need to understand wave mechanics. All information travels as waves. There are only two types of waves in existence: transverse, which is light, and longitudinal, which is sound or pressure, compression waves. Matter of fact, longitudinal waves, or the longitudinal aspect of electromagnetic fields, is what you call gravity. It's the compression force towards center. It's what makes a star go. When that compression is perfectly fractal, meaning that it doesn't lose energy as it compresses inward because it scales perfectly. This is Stargate science. This is Stargate science. You need that 5 Fibonacci ratio in order to cross the infinite void that exists between universes, between multiverses. Nigga, you need to quantum tunnel your way through. There is no other way. That's why they need the quantum computations. Go back to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Anytime they wanted to tap into the skills of another version of themselves, they had to do some really random shit.
Weird shit.
They had to do super random weird shit.
Yeah, they had to go weird.
They had to, and what did I say? Go weird. Draw outside the line, go weird, and you will pull it in.
That's what you did say. You said go weird with it.
The weirding way. Dune even talks about it. In Dune, the weirding way is what happens when you gain full total conscious control of every single faculty in your body. Down to the Bene Gesserit can control the sex of the children they have using these techniques that ultimately lead into the weirding way. The weirding way is the fighting application of it. When they use this shit, it looks like they're teleporting, but they're not teleporting. They just have so much control over their body that they know how to move in between the frames of your perception.
Right.
And you're fucked. You can't block a hit you don't know is coming.
All right.
And this is why I'm always going to be the one to tie this shit back to some form of media, because the media is always telling you the truth. It's always going to give you the sauce. You just have to be symbol literate. Symbol literacy. You niggas can barely read regular English words. I done seen y'all 6th grade reading levels. I'm going to let y'all slide on that if y'all can step y'all symbolic literacy up.
Right. Just
understand how these symbols are communicating to you.
Read the memes, my nigga.
Read the memes. Stop thinking that they're just fancy pictures on it. Start decoding this shit. Who wrote this? Why would they write this? What do they gain from this? What's the symbol here? What archetype is this drawing from? What probability field are they trying to access with this content? You might learn a lot. Might be able to have some of the wild ass discussions we be having when you start really getting into the archetypal nature, the multiverse, the probabilistic nature, and then the way those probabilities embody themselves in real time. Again, these are just the first 3 layers: universe, multiverse, metaverse. I didn't go into the Xenoverse. The Xenoverse is where all the alien shit is. It's where all the chimeras and the hybrids and every image you've ever seen of a demon where they got this head and this kind of a body and they got a tail of this. That's from the Xenoverse. It's where the archetypes fuse and mutate into one another. So it's one thing to understand the bat from the human perspective, but understanding the bat from the bat's perspective is alien to you. You don't have the necessary circuitry to understand a bat from a bat's own perspective. But hold on, wait a minute. When the shaman understood the jaguar from the jaguar's perspective, when they understood the eagle from the eagle's perspective, when they understood the bat from the bat's perspective, they could shapeshift into one. Hello. You niggas gonna see me today. I'm talking full holographic technology to you niggas. The Xenoverse is where the alien shit comes in. It's when these archetypes and symbols start to mutate in a way that is not conducive to human comprehension. You might not understand why a tiger is orange. You don't need to, because a deer can't see the color orange. So guess what? That tiger blends into the rest of the fucking background.
Damn.
That's the Xenoverse. You don't have to understand it. It works for who it works for. The tiger lives in a whole different universe from you, a whole different multiverse from you, a whole different metaverse from you. The hyperverse is where we get into the level of the game where it doesn't matter how alien or different these things are. If they share resonance, they're family. So it doesn't matter. So, all right. And I said this to Red earlier when I was explaining the concept to him before we got on the show. If you ever go outside and you walk in, you taking a little walk in the park, and then this butterfly is just flying all around you and won't leave you alone. You spending 10 minutes fucking around with this butterfly. Guess what? That butterfly is a part of your hyperverse. It's you. It's exactly your energy signature as a butterfly. Again, it doesn't matter how alien and different they are, they share a resonance with one another, and that's why they're family. When Charlie Kirk got shot, everybody that thinks the way he thinks got hit with it.
That's
hyperverse. It doesn't matter how they looked or where they were. They all got hit with it.
That's a fact.
And then the final layer is the omniverse. Like I said, everything, everywhere, all at once. In the movie, they talk about it like a multiverse, right? But understand that what I'm describing is everything. There is no outside of the omniverse. Everything is in the omniverse. Even the concept of nothingness exists in the omniverse. There is no outside of this shit. Everything fake, everything real, and everything in between is in the omniverse. It all ontologically exists. It's all ontologically real. It may not be embodied at the level of reality that we are at, but it is real.
Right. So embodied refers to the fact that it's not in physical form, or just rather the form that you can see in your light spectrum.
There you go. If you change your light spectrum, you'd see these things embodied in different forms. Your ideas have a physical form. You just can't interact with it because of the constraints of this universe.
Right.
But your imagination allows you to give that idea a form. That's why we didn't just say, oh, love. We gave love a form and we called it Oshun. We gave love a form, we called it Venus. We gave war a form, we called it Shango.
Right.
The imagination allows you to do that. And that's what I'm saying. The imagination is, oh shit. Shout outs to the Lyran. Shout outs to the Thundercats. The fuck? Yeah, that's one of them hyperstitions I'm trying to bring to reality. Bring me the Thundercats. Bring me my black jaguar ancestors. You see what I'm saying? God damn. Let me get some of that big cat energy. Bring me back what they call an Akr from the Egyptian shit. The lion at both horizons, nigga. Give what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah. Ultraviolet light is unseen. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? You don't have
I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow. Have you heard the story about the group of people that they're showing the DMT and red lasers?
I've seen that
simulation.
Yep. I've seen that. They'll do like the red laser cross and then they stare into the center of it.
Yeah. And they see the simulation through it and they freaking out.
That's called 4-wave mixing. It's laser interferometry. So what they're doing is they're taking the laser light and they're making it interfere with itself. This is how you create holograms. This is how the whole universe is made anyways. So all you do is reverse engineer the process and you get back out.
Right.
So yeah, definitely bring that into the conversation. That's one of them ones that we need to talk about. Because again, if I'm saying the whole universe is holographic, then that means that lasers play a really big part. Lasers and mirrors play a really big part in this conversation. And these screens are black mirrors. Your conscious attention is a laser. Hello. So that's all I got. I'm stepping back from the stove.
To this day.
Make sure y'all put in my votes for Rookie of the Year. All right.
To this day.
Sorry, I really can't let anyone else have this. It takes 10 years to make an overnight success. Okay. All right. Let's just remember that.
That's right, man. Let me go ahead and take some questions from the audience. I don't want to I don't want to be dismissive and act like nobody got questions. So there is a slight delay, but if y'all got questions, please, by all means, I'm giving y'all about a few minutes to put it together. By all means, please drop them in the chat and I will post it and ask it. You know what I mean? Yeah, this one is one of them ones where you might have to rewind it and go through some notes and not only go through the notes but do the deep diving, do the follow-up. I will be posting a PDF inside of Buy Me a Coffee inside of the store from the good brother. He did drop a new one off for us, you know what I mean? So look out for that. That will be in Buy Me a Coffee inside of the store tonight. I'm uploading it. Okay. So yeah. Let me see. Whoever said that. Okay. I'm not sure who repeat that. Mentagasm. How to know what data is real when looking at things. How to avoid being slant in debates. Is that the question? How to know what data is real when looking at things, and how to avoid.
Okay.
How do you know what data is?
All right. I would say the ancestors are always the best source of confirmation because they've been doing this shit for thousands of years. They've been collecting data for thousands of years longer than what modern society has.
Yes.
So if you're going to use a modern source, try to see how it ties back into what your ancestors have already said. If what you're reading in the modern source feels like you're finally getting an opportunity to decode some ancient shit, stick with that. Stick with that. I promise you it works out better. I stuck with Carl Jung because Carl Jung was studying our ancestors. So everything he said is just what we were saying, but in a new modern language. So that's how I like choosing the information that I go with. You see what I'm saying? If I can't get the collaboration or the validation, the confirmation from what the ancestors have already said, I'm gonna step back from it and I'm gonna wait until I see more evidence, right? But the different forms of science that I lean into, the different forms of study I lean into, every part of it tracks back to what the ancestor says. So that would be my way. And truth be told, I'm not really here for the debate inside of this shit, to be real. I spent too much time researching this shit to debate anybody about it. I'm good off that. But if you want to participate in that, I would say just make sure your bibliography is strong because it's a debate. You can logically prove anything. Who fucking cares?
Right. She wants to know the name of the South Park episodes.
The Imagination Land trilogy. Imagination Land trilogy. It's season 11, right? If you literally can type it in, it's literally one of the most famous episode sets in the whole show. It's like top 10.
Facts. It's episode 100 of South Park, the Imagination Land trilogy. I'm gonna go rewatch that tonight. But
there we go.
Yeah. I read that in the chat. What they were talking about was they were giving the soldiers the infrared helmets in like the war, and they were freaking out because they were seeing all type of shit, you know what I mean? And they could not function. So they went to the infrared, they changed that shit to green.
Mm-hmm. You know, it was originally that blue dye shit that was letting them see spirits. I seen that. Yeah.
Put your Cash App in the chat, God. They want your Cash App.
Oh shit! They trying to put money in the pocket.
Yeah. Trying to feed the ministry. You know what I'm talking about?
See that? I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, yo.
Oh, this is a good one. How do you, Hit Sayu, tie this Asian ninja like theme into your ancient African studies and your current archetypal character?
All right. So that's actually really clever. Let's go back to Bodhidharma and the fact that all of ancient culture comes from Africa anyways. What the
Right.
fuck? Like, let's talk about the fact that the ninjas are just practicing shadow occult knowledge that came from Baba Kalindi
Assassins.
was one
Right.
of the main ones that put me on game to the fact that the entheogenic culture that leads into the shinobi came from Africa with Bodhidharma into this world. So there's that aspect of it. There's also the fact that for whatever reason, Japanese and black culture just seem to go together. Like they just seem to have a deeper appreciation for what we got going on. And let's be real, anime is so fucking occult that most of it is our shit anyways.
Right.
So that's how I connected my brand to the ancestors while still keeping it very like futuristic and modern, because a lot of the like Afro tech or cyberpunk feel is very Japanese in its origin as well. Like Akira and all those different things play into this as well. So I'm doing a lot of ancient work because this is Tezcatlipoca in a modern form. You see what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah.
also techware. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm leaning into two sides of time at once.
And as you were saying that, the question dropped and said, "Are you inspired by Akira?" And y'all
Yeah, I'm
the
inspired
first.
by all those different animes for sure. I grew up watching Bleach. That was a anime about sword powers and shit, samurais doing all
Yeah,
types
yeah,
of cool
that's a big
shit.
one. Hmm.
Yeah, big one like that. JJK, Demon Slayer, like all these are the shows that shaped who I am, that showed me that whatever way it was, my dreams were possible
Yeah, we were
spiritually.
Fist of the North Star, my generation.
Ah, yeah.
The Fist of the North Star, Akira, and stuff, you know? But yeah,
Boom.
Forbidden Planet, you know what I'm talking about? Forbidden Planet, that was our shit in New York. But
See, we got someone saying in the chat, the Iwis from West Africa over there, they're saying they're the origin of all East Asian language and culture. See,
that's a
boom,
fact.
there we go. Japanese love us for a reason, bro. Their indigenous people are us. Like the first people in Japan was us. Like,
Oh man, the Japanese story is crazy. We're gonna have to go through that. I'm gonna play that video tomorrow, Sacrilegious Sundays. There was a video that dropped where they were going in on Japan. A brother, as a matter of fact, the history of Japan that they don't tell us about, and the fact that the Japanese there are not the Japanese of before, because nobody in that region has that skin color. You feel me? Nobody in that region has that skin color. Those are invaders. You know what I mean? Those people there are a mixture of the Chinese and certain other tribes, but that's not the Japanese. That's not the original Japanese.
oh no.
Yeah, we postponed. We did find a spot 36. I think it's called 3661, or it's a fire spot in New Orleans. We postponed it, I think, in December or early 2026. So yeah, we'll let you know. You dig? But yeah, instead of being in New Orleans, I'm gonna be in my kitchen cooking tomorrow for Metaverse. I mean, for
Big
Meta
time.
Yahoo. You got me on the
Meta
Metaverse now.
Yahoo.
Meta Yahoo and the Metaverse. I might change the whole shit. Meta Yahoo and the Metaverse. You dig? And that one right there, that's gonna be one of them ones. So let's go to this commercial before we get out of here. This is the commercial for Meta Yahoo. The link is in the description. All of my Patreons and all of my ticket holders from MagaFest Destiny, where Hitsayu opened up. That was his premiere lecture. Y'all gonna get y'all tickets in the email tomorrow. Y'all have already a free entry. Everybody else is just donation based. I'm not even tripping and whatnot. It's simply donation based. Y'all can hit up the everybody that sent buy me a coffee in like the last week or week and a half or two. You already gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna take care of you. So anybody that hits the buy me a coffee or anybody that hits the Eventbrite, I'll see you tomorrow. We can't do it on YouTube because we'll be playing copyrighted material and we're gonna be talking big smack about the big dogs and big tech. And you know, we gotta go behind the paywall when we talk about Meta Yahoo and his crew. All right. But this is the commercial and we will be right back. All right. Peace.
I was saying, this is really just the greatest time to be as weird as you possibly can be. Get outside of your own limitations, your own petty little stupid ass human restrictions, yo. Like get out of the matrix. but it starts up here, my nigga. It really does start up here, my genius. You gotta be willing to get weird up here before anything in reality even starts to remotely move in a way that's going to begin to convince you that you have more power than what you might have allowed yourself access to prior, right? So now that you know that you are a universe, a multiverse, a metaverse onto yourself, go figure out your archetype and then go change the probability field on that. That's all you need to do. Figure out that archetype and then set up the probability path that you would like to explore as that archetype. You're seeing it done right in front of your eyes. Come to my class. I promise you. I'm gonna give you the same motherfucking sauce every time. Every time, y'all.
Sauce. All right. So here you go. Yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the opportunity is staring at you. It is in your face. We are here. We have arrived. And there's nothing else to say. You know what I mean? With that being said, shoot, I want to say thank you for your time on this beautiful Saturday. And yeah, make sure you're safe out there. Stay focused. We're gonna end this. Matter of fact, real word from the commercial. We got commercial, and then we're gonna go ahead and close it out with Cambada and Red Pill. You know what I mean? Got it going on. All right. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Eventbrite for the workshop. Somebody was asking, is the Eventbrite? Yes. So the Eventbrite is here, and you could read through the whole breakdown, the about this event. Everything is laid out. We will be posting the agenda for the workshop, the whole agenda. We will be posting that. But you have the description, break down everything. Anything that you need to know is going to be on this page right here. So yes, make sure you are in the building. We look forward to seeing you. And yeah, you know what I mean? So yes, this is the page right here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you come over here and this will be the page. You can read the description about this event. All of it is here, detail, let you know what you need to know. Okay, and we will see you in the either, you know, because we have the option of one ticket for the 1 week. You could come in on 1 week, or you could come in for the whole 4. You get a chance to sample it, test it out, see what you see. But as you can see tonight, I'm sure you're gonna need the whole 4. But you know what I mean? We're here for you. You did? Yeah, we are outside. We are outside. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, and light, and we will catch you on the other side. You dig?